Hello everybody, this is Sonia and welcome to our first episode of Twinchie Tuesday. Now today I'm going to start the tutorials on the little Twinchies and show you some elements of these Twinchies and the pages. So as per usual, I must have a mouthful of water. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the things that you can collect up along the way, so what you will need. But to start off with, of course, you're going to need some calico. Now, if you don't want to do it on calico, that's fine, but you know, like, it's up to you. You can use whatever sort of background you like, but the calico is easy because the way that I do it, that's what I use. Okay, I'll also be using some stretch fabric of some sort. Stretches some ways, this does. You can use, this is like a petticoat maybe fabric, it does stretch a bit. You can use, I've got some stretch velveteen here. I have this mauve one, and it's I don't know if this is stretchy though, because I wasn't really, it just depends which way you hold it. But you can use t-shirt material, of course, that works really good too, that'll stretch. So, and I'll, bit of t-shirt. We'll need some hessian, and I've got this piece here, because everything's only going to be small pieces, so you don't need big things. We're going to be using silk ribbon. Now, I know people are going to say to me, can you use other ribbon? Well, yes you can, but because this is so small, this work, it's not going, like you could probably use it, for what this part of it, we're going to need silk ribbon, okay, for what I'm going to show you, you know, but we can use other ribbon as well. So if you've got any sorts of ribbon is nice, yeah, but not too big, you know, like this here's a good little one to use, and anything that size. You're going to need assortment of beads. You can pick the colour beads that you like for what the work you're going to do. I like the square ones. I haven't used any of those so far, but I shall be. Any sort of little beads, any seed beads or smallish sort of ones. Sequences, you can use those. I have a box here full of bead soup. And that's because it's all messy, you know, but this is what I'll come to use if something I didn't feel like sorting out, so I just use it, and you've got sort of a good arrangement of lots of different colours and things in that, so that's something that I use when I'm doing this. You'll need some little buttons, all sorts of buttons. Now I've got all these tiny little buttons that I acquired a while back, and I've been hanging on to them, you know, and there's some colours in there I probably won't use because it's a bit too bright, but it's okay because I've got a lot of little ones as well. And other size buttons as well. You're going to need different size buttons and the colours to coordinate with whatever your colours are going to be that you want to put on your Twinchies. It's up to everybody, the individual, what sort of things they like on there. You know, well, this is the blue one's going in there with the mauve, but anyway, so that's that. You'll need some little tiny embellishments. I only picked out a few so far because if I don't use this stuff, then I've got to put it all away, don't I? So I didn't want to drag out too much to start with. I also think that these are quite good. These are sequence shaped star thingies, you know, so that's a good thing to use as well if you've got any of those. They work really well because they're really pretty, and they're only very small, and they work really good on there. Anything that you like, really, you can put on. You've got to, you know, you just use your imagination. I just put stuff on it, you know. But anyway, so also because some of the techniques as well, we're going to be using tiny little beads like these. These are pony beads. These are called. Now these are very small. These ones are here are smaller still. Now I got these out of something that was a kid's thing, like for children for beading or something. So I'm going to take one out of there, so as long as I don't lose it. see how little that is, but that's because I want to use these. Now they've got a big hole in them, that's the idea, and it won't be green when we're finished, okay? So if you can find something like that, that'll be really good to work with. You're going to need rings, like so. There's all sorts of different rings you can get, you know, anything like this is good. These ones here are a little bit harder to use because they've got a split in them. This was a bit of jewellery. It's got a split in it, but maybe I can put a little bit of E6000 on that and that'll hold it together. The same with that one there. And this is off a piece of jewellery. So anything and that's a good thing because it's already got his little top on him, okay? So any sort of little rings. Oh well, I've shown you the big ones too, but on the Twinchies we're only going to be using, you know, that size there. That's, you know, you don't want to make it too big because then it's going to overpower your work. So we sort of only need that size ones there, okay? Now, you'll need thread of different sorts. I use crochet thread for my embroidery stitches. So I've got a few bits here that I've rolled onto this one because I take this out to the lounge room with me if I need in my sewing basket if I want to go out there and do any bits. So I've got little bits on here that I can use if I want to put on a bit of thread. I also use a really thick cotton if I've got any, or you can use embroidery thread like these ones here. This is embroidery floss. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you wanted to do a tiny little one strand, okay? Because I suppose it's okay, but I'd rather use anything like this sort of thing. And you can get these in all different sizes. I mean, I got all different sizes, and I've got this nice mauve one that I've got on here. So that's the sort of thing that we're going to be using. Pieces, I'll just put those in there. Pieces of lace, little bits of lace, your little bits and pieces of your lace that you might have laying around, you know, that you thought, oh well, I'm not going to know what to do with that ever, am I? So there's all them sort of bits and pieces you can use. We've got a bit wider laces too because that's a good idea to have them as well. So I've got a bit wider pieces of lace, something that'll cover the whole thing. Little flower motive things or appliques, whatever you got like that. And what haven't I showed you? Buttons, of course. Oh, well, I do have a good supply of white ones around because they're pretty good to use in different things, but only if these are small enough. I've got a couple of really small ones that I can dig out later. Now, what else? Oh, and your needles. Your needles are going to, because we're going to do sewing. Well, that's something that we can't help that, but that's okay because we want to learn to do this, don't we? So I'm actually, this is not the actual thing. This came in, but I've put them in here so I can show you now. You don't, I've got that threaded on there. I don't know why because it's just absolutely too huge, you know. But you'll need something like this that's got a good size eye in the end of it so you can thread your ribbon through there, right? Because whatever hole that part makes and that part, that will take that through, okay? So that's what you need that one for. You'll need one for small stitches. And I find these, I don't know about anybody else, but these gold tops are good, but I can't seem to thread them for some reason. Not as good as I used to, anyway. But then you need a good size eye in your needle and something that you're comfortable with sewing with. Not something too, no, don't get one of these crowbars. This is not right. I don't know why I've got that in there, but anyway, that's what my mother would have called it. And of course, you'll need a bead needle, which is a very, very fine needle with a tiny, weeny hole. That just depends, though, on whether the holes in your beads are very big or not, okay? You'll probably need a few little bits of, a few pins, maybe, if you want to pin things on, you know, just to have a look. Also, we're going to use some little words. We're going to have pictures, which I don't know what I've done with those. They're here somewhere, nobody can them. I actually haven't picked out what sort of, but I've got some pictures, and nail polish, clear nail polish, right, and anything else you kind of fancy. Okay, now, so to get started today, I don't know, we'll sort of start off with something to do with the embellishments, because that's what we want to do. No, we won't. We're going to start right from the beginning. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, oh, here's some more pictures. See, I've got these here. They are really cool, out of a book, just the right size, aren't they? Isn't that neat? So they're really what I was looking for. That's the right size. Now, you need to have your Twinchies 2 inches by 2 inches, right? So I've got my calico here, and I've actually torn it off of the last piece I used. I always tear it, okay? Now, the reason being for that is because I love the frayed edge, and I really want it to be level, and that's what you will achieve if you do that. Now, I need I've got 2 inches down here in front of me. Look at this, I've got the thing on the front of the table here that tells me, and that's 2 inches wide, because that's where I tore it off last time. So what you do is you make your first cut with your scissors, and then you tear all the rest of the way. I'll make some Twinchies out of that, aren't I? There's a few there. Okay, now you'll pull these bits off here. Just take them off, whatever you've got happening. And I think I need a less, not such a big piece to work with to show you, because it's going to get tangled up. So I'll just cut that, make it smaller. There we go. Now, you'll keep these pieces because they are going to be used in your work. Okay, you'll keep all them threads. Don't throw anything away. Pull them off and give him a little fray. Well, you don't really, because it does fray itself to a small degree, you don't need to, I'm just going to cheat and go, that's that big. And snip that. And tear it. Okay, I don't know, this is what it works with really good, the calico, see, because I get that finish, and that's what I'm after. That's the finish I'm after, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I would sit there and I would tear up a few, which I've got here. You know, there's always some that we did earlier, okay. Now, there's threads pulled through some of these, because that's what happened when I tore it, but I don't care about that, because I think it gives it texture. It all helps, you know, it all makes it look right. So I've got some Twinchies ready to go. So you want to get yourself some ready to do that. Okay, so now we need to put on, I would put on a bit of lace. Okay, I'd put on a bit of lace to start it off with. And I've got this one here that I'm quite partial to. And we're going to put that on there first. Okay, now I won't cover it completely because I don't think I want to do that. I'm just going to cut off enough here. I'll put this that way. And I can't tell which is the wrong side because this looks like it's got them lift. Anyway, we're not going to be too concerned about that today because I don't think it's going to be an issue. Righto, so we'll put a piece of lace on there. We'll have a needle and cotton, which would have been a really good idea to have these threaded up earlier, but anyway, that should not take me too long, I hope. So we just use ordinary thread for this, ordinary machine thread. Or let's do a colour. We might go and do a colour because that's the idea, isn't it? We'll show you how. We'll put a colour on there now. Where did I put those? Here in the drawer. What colours am I going to use mainly? I think the pink. I think I want to use pinks on that. I do for today. Or mauve. The mauve colours. Yes, I'll do a mauve one. So you need a bit of thread, not that long I don't think, Sonia. You don't want something that's going to be tangling up and annoying you, so let's cut that about 16 inches long, okay? And you thread that through your needle, of course, but make sure that like you've got a fairly thick needle because this has got to follow it through without you having to use the pliers to get it through there, okay? Because that's what happens sometimes. Now, I didn't want that quite on the edge because I just don't. It's not a thing I want to do. I could put it like that. Maybe I'll put it like that. Yeah, there we go. Now I don't have to go right to the corner. I've got a giant father knot on the back, but that doesn't matter. Now we're just going to do some staggered old stitches. I'm going for the look of Well, I don't really know. I just really like this look where you put on your stitches wherever. You know, I mean, I'm going to show you some really good embroidery stitches, but this is mostly just in and out of this is just a straight stitch, and you're just doing it to decorate a tiny bit of the thing with the mauve. I hope this is in the shot properly with your mauve thing. You know, the cotton thread is actually crochet thread, and it is a little bit expensive to buy it first, but you can collect it up. A lot of people might already crochet and they could have some. You can use really fine wool too if you wanted to, like a very fine wool thread. I've got a lot of that about, but I do not want to drag it out because then I'll make a mess, won't I? So there we go. So we'll just put that around the outside really willy-nilly, okay? So this is not too lumpy on the back. I'll fix this knot, I hope. There we go. Take it out straight. Now you just end it off at the back by picking it up, and you've got to get it tangled up, of course. So don't worry about that. That's part of the thing. Okay, that's how it works. Tangles, gets caught, knots, you name it. But please don't go, oh, I can't do this, and throw it in the bin. Some people do that, don't they? They think, oh, I don't want to do that. Anyway, so that's that bit done. Alright. Now, just for the sake of getting rid of this to start with, we're going to use this to make something out of. We're going to keep it all together. This is what we pulled off, the length of calico. And we're just going to make a bow out of the calico. That's just a little bow there. Now you got a lot, I know, but if you got a lot, the more it's easier. It's easier to do if you got a lot to work with. You know what I mean? You got plenty to move about with. It's only the bit of scrimmy stuff off the end. So off the end of the calico. So you can cut that there. Cut that there. These scissors need to. I might have to make sure I don't pick them up again. Okay, now we can still keep that bit too, because we can do something with that. Now pull that down a bit further. Well, I hope you can still see what I'm doing. Pull that down there a bit further and make a nice little bow. Okay, so he can be put on later, because I find if you put them on and you'll get things tangled up in them, it might be really annoying. Okay, now so we've got our background pretty much ready. Now we want to put on some I want to do one of these ring things and show you how to do that, but I think I might do, we'll do this one today here. We'll do that one, so that'll be on the littlest ring that you use. That is very simple to do, and I'm going to use a cream colour, I think, on that. And so I need a cream colour thread, and I should have one down here in this box. Excuse me, sorry about the chair screaming. Always squeaks when I move on it. Okay, now I've just got a bit of wool in here I can show you. I've got my little basket here on the floor. Well, come here. So I've got this other mauve. It's very close, so I won't use that one. This is like wool. Like I said, you could use a bit of that if you want to do your stitches. You know, they might be more prominent if you wanted to have that sort of effect. But I'm going to use this nice sort of champagne-y colour, I think it is, looks to be, to make the circle. Now, the circle will be, if this camera goes bib, it means it's telling me that I've gone for half an hour, so that's plenty of time for each one of these, I'd say. And then I can come back and, yeah, we need a bit for this, okay, that's why I've got a really long thread, and it's going to be, it's 18 inches doubled over, okay. I didn't really need to put a knot in it, but now you're just going to come up through here. I think I've done the video on this, but I I'd rather put this in here again so you can find it all, okay? Now you just come up through the centre, round through there. You go up in underneath and pull that back through that loop, okay? So you want to go down in there, come up over the top of that cotton and bring it back out. Now this is doing a blanket stitch, okay? We're enclosing this in a blanket stitch. So you just go around here like this, okay? And just keep going with it. Now, when everybody does these, I'd really like to see them. I'd really love for you to show me what you have done, and because they're all going to look different because we're going to use all different techniques on them, aren't we? Oh well, maybe different colours and things. We're going to use the same techniques, but we're all going to have different work because that's just how it all works out, doesn't it? So you just keep going around this here. I'm hoping you can see I'm going down in under there, and I'm making sure that I go over the top of that and hook it back in there, okay? Very, very simple to do that, and just keep going all the way around until you fill that all up. All right. I'm going to do that because I want to actually show you how long it takes, and nobody panic. It'll be fine. This little tail here is starting to get in the way, but I'm going to actually, when I get to the other side, I'm going to put that into it. I'm going to actually cover that over. Alright, so I need this to, we'll get more done in the next episode because I showed you the things that we were going to be using. I'm going to cut that off a bit, woven around there in my road. But anyway, it'll give you a chance to collect up some bits and pieces for the next one. The next one that I'm going to show you will be the button on the ring. So you need rings, if you can find rings, and the buttons, because we're going to be using them in the next one. So if you can get together some buttons, because if you're doing Twinchies, you don't want anything bigger than those. These are okay. They're not going to matter what they look like. You're not going to be able to see these ones when we finish them. I don't know if I've got one here to show you over there somewhere. But anyway, so if you've got hopefully you had a ring to do this one, but you just can go and get one anyway and just look at it, watch it again, I suppose, and do what you want to do. But anyway, so if you can find the things to make these, and then we can make a little inchy quilt like what's the name said, looks like a little tiny quilt, Dennis did. I thought it was really cool. If you want to make the big pages like I'm doing like these ones here that I'm doing from my book, you can use, well, there's lots of things on that, isn't there? So that's quite fun. So it's up to people, whatever size they want to do. But I think if you start out with a small thing, and you've got something that's doesn't take that long to do, and it's very encouraging then to, keep going with it. Now I'm actually getting the tail of this in, catching that in under there. Look, it's caught in under that. You can't actually see because it's gone under there, and that's good because you don't want that in your road, okay? So that's all gone under there. Right. Now I hope that you can work out what I'm doing. If anybody needs any explanation. Now look what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this into the centre. See? Push that over into the middle. Right? Like so. There we go. So he's in the middle. So you can actually go across to the other side and pick that up. Well, there's all knots up there, and yeah, there we go. And then you want to, I could have did this a little bit more. You might have, you need to cover it as much as you can. Then I'll go across here. And then I'll come across here. You're just coming up behind or down through the top, and you're making yourself like a tiny little dream catcher thing. I mean, pretty much, isn't it? Yeah. Through there, and through that part there, through here, and through that bit. Now I've got a feeling that this is nearly my time's nearly up on this, so okay, so now I'm going to put this and hook that through the end there, and I'm going to find something that I want to hang on the end of it. So that would be something in pink, I think, because I've got the mauve pink bead maybe. I don't know if it'll fit on this piece of string though. I might have to end it off. If we can do it, we will, but we're not going to be able to. It's not going to fit over there. So we might have to end this off, or I might leave that there because that could be used as a hanging up piece to hang him on, because we're making, where's the little fella here? What have I done with them? They were here in front of me. I'll put this over the top of it. Wait a minute, I didn't think I did one yesterday. Oh, here it is. Look at this, it's sitting in front of me. So I just put on a couple of beads and a little. So you want to get a bead needle or a very fine sewing needle, piece of thread, which is just ordinary thread, and just put this little fella. What do I do with that needle? Oh, yeah, they're tiny, tiny, aren't they? Oh, they're so small. And I don't know whether I've just gone blind trying to thread them or what. I can't see a thing. I could if I had that magnifying glass things hanging up here somewhere. Wait a minute. I'm not going to waste your time threading that. That's just be all scary for you. Hang on a minute, let's see if I've got one in here. No, I don't. Should have did that first. I'm terribly sorry for that. It's not very good when whoever's shown you how to do this can't thread the needle, is it? Very nice and not at all. Okay. We can't give up though, can we really? Doesn't seem right. Just push it through there, Sonia. Don't stand for this. Look at that, I did it. Persistence. Two threads worth. Around here like that. Now you want to go through from the opposite end of where you're going to tie it up. So catch a bit of this at the back, a bit of the cotton at the back. Thread 2 pink beads on. 1, maybe 3. Maybe I might put one of them brighter pink ones on just for a little tiny bit of accent on it. Come on. There. And a leaf. Now, you don't have to sort out before you start what you're going to do, because it's something that you just play around with and do whatever you like. You know, it is. It's just, unless of course you want to do that, just say, well, I'm going to make this, this and this and put it on there. I never do that. I just make this, this and this and put it on. You know, because that's what I want to do. So there you go. That is for this first little inchie that we're doing. But we haven't really finished him today, but we will finish him off and do another one the next time. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed that, and we're going to come back and learn lots more things. Okay, thank you everybody.